Hello everyone, I am Adolfo Carratala and I am a professor of journalism at the University of Valencia. The aim of this video is to introduce you to the article titled Press Coverage of Same-Sex Domestic Violence Cases in Spain, which appears in number 70 of the Latina Journal of Social Communication. This article offers the first approach from the field of communication to a phenomenon until recent years that was invisible in the media: domestic violence in same-sex couples. The death of some gay men at the hands of their boyfriends or husbands over the past years in Spain has prompted a debate in the political and activist spheres on how to understand these cases and how society should respond to them. In this regard, we believe that it is of utmost interest to investigate the media's coverage of these events, because the discourse is essential for a certain reality to be regarded as a social problem. Indeed, the media discourse was revealed as a crucial tool to spread social awareness about gender violence since the late 90s, when the discourse around this type of violence led to the professionalization of its treatment by incorporating some of the demands of the feminist movement. Given that some voices agree that the so-called intragender violence has similarities with macho violence, our initial hypothesis is that news reports about violence in same-sex couples will exhibit some of the characteristics that distinguish the journalistic treatment of gender violence at an early stage, when the phenomenon was considered as a private matter that did not deserve public attention. In addition, we expected these news stories to exhibit features that are characteristic of the media discourse about minority sexual orientations, which is traditionally based on many prejudices, stereotypes, and euphemisms. To this end, we identified all the cases of same-sex domestic violence reported by the main Spanish newspapers from January 2010 to December 2014, based on keyword searches on the hemerographic online tool MyNews. The search revealed news stories related to the coverage of 4 different cases, all of them killing of gay men at the hands of the partners. We collected the news published by the 4 most read newspapers published in Madrid: El País, El Mundo, ABC, and La Razón, and the leading regional newspaper when the event had taken place outside of the community of Madrid, as it occurred with 2 of the cases. A total of 35 information units were examined. The quantitative content analysis was articulated around the encoding of the information units according to 11 different variables, such as the use of images, sources, motives of the crime, and the degree of sensationalism, many of which have revealed to be very useful in the research on the media coverage of gender-based violence. However, given that the limited visibility of the phenomenon provides few units of analysis, we complement the quantitative analysis with a qualitative examination of those aspects in which ideological and critical analysis may be especially appropriate, such as the use of euphemisms and stereotypes and the motives for the crime highlighted by the news. The analysis has allowed us to largely confirm the initial hypothesis. The examination of the different information pieces indicates that coverage of violence in homosexual couples is based on an episodic approach, which is typical of the accident and crime news genre, as it happened with the news coverage of gender-based violence until the 90s. This framing is reflected on the most used sources: immediate surrounding, police, etc., the chosen images, the victim's face, removal of the body, the crime scene. The categorization of the crime usually appears as a crime of passion. The focus on the motive for the crime: jealousy, delusion, drugs. The sensationalist aspects as gory details, shocking circumstances, infographic of the crime, and the blaming of the victim that emerged from the use of various narrative strategies. This discursive strategy prevents this reality from being presented as a social problem worthy of public attention. On the other hand, the use of euphemisms and stereotypes linked to the traditional representation of gay people in the journalistic discourse does not occur in the majority of the news stories, which suggests a gradual normalization of the homosexual reality in the media's agenda. In addition, the examination of the news coverage reflects the confusion that is also present in the associative and political dimensions about how to conceptualize this phenomenon, which is described with various formulas and, in some cases, is equated with gender-based violence. I invite you to read the full article to get a comprehensive idea of the scope of these matters, which are explained and illustrated with numerous examples. I hope the article is of your interest. Thanks for watching.